Well, I'm an LPGA professional, so let me start there. That's my profession. And I've been an LPGA professional since 2010. But I've been working in the golf industry for I'm going on 30, no, 20, sorry, 28 years, going on 28 years. Started out golfing at the age of 7 and joined a youth program the following year at the age of 8 called Greater Cleveland Junior Golf Scholarship Fund. I know that's a mouthful, but it's a program that was designed to get more youth, especially Black youth, into golf here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm now the executive director of that program. But that program helped me to not only see golf as a avenue to compete, which is what I love doing because I'm a competitive person. It also gave me the insight to use golf as a tool for getting a scholarship to college. And that's what I did. I got a full ride to Gannon University in Erie, Pennsylvania. I got my undergrad there in business, and I got my MBA there as well. So, and leaving Gannon, I knew I wanted to stay working in the golf industry because I had stayed working in the golf industry from 14. I've done everything at a golf course except for cut the grass. So anything you see people doing at a golf course, I have done it. And because of growing up in Cleveland, surprisingly having so many really accessible public golf courses, nice ones here, I was able to do those things. But I went on to get my college degree and played for their team. I got a full ride to play varsity golf on the women's golf team at Gannon for the 4 years that I did my undergrad. And I can tell you right now, I was the only person of color in my conference, which at the time was known as the Greater Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. And that was not a big deal to me at that point, just because I was so used to being the only one. So even though it sounds it sounds stark to say that I'm the only one in a conference, I'd been accustomed to that at that point. But like I said, I just like to compete, so that's all I wanted to do. But while at Gannon, I was involved in a lot of leadership organizations and leadership roles. I was same in high school. And I knew when I left in 2007, I wanted to work in the golf industry full time because I had been doing it part time up until that point. I got my first job out in Ventura County, California, to work for the Ventura County Golf Association. I helped with their first tee program, as well as I was on the cusp of creating their girls golf program, but unfortunately got laid off due to the crash of 2008. So that led me back to Cleveland, Ohio, and stayed with my family just to figure out what I was going to do next. Unfortunately, a few months after getting back home, I was offered a full-time role with the Cleveland Metro Parks, which is a park system here in Cleveland that has 8 golf courses, but it was 7 at the time, to be a clubhouse manager. Translation, I was the manager of the golf course. And so at the age of, I don't know, 23, 24, something like that, I was managing golf courses, which I say that not to brag, but more so to say that was kind of supposed to be like my pinnacle thing. Like when I get 40, I'm going to manage a golf course one day. But I wasn't 40 yet. So it was kind of cool to have that experience. And of course, because I had been working in the industry for so long and working specifically for the metro parks at that point, I knew the ropes pretty well. And so me and my all-male white colleagues who managed the other courses, I got to work with them and got to get a lot of life experience. Most of my staff was old enough to be my grandparents at the time. So that was interesting to be the boss of people of that age, as well as I hired, younger people as well, and had a lot of success in that role. While I was there, I created what they call women's super clinics, where I created an event where women could come out and learn golf for free and then filter them into our academy programs. And so I created a lot of women's only programming, which hadn't existed prior to me being there. And through that success, I got some awards through Crane Business Cleveland magazine, and I got asked to do weekly tips for the local news channel on TV, and a lot of cool stuff happens from that. I also created programs for toddlers. I had a little birdies class for kids ages 3 to 6 because all of our programs started at age 6. And I had some parents ask me, "What? My kid's 4 or 5. What are they supposed to do?" So we created a program. So yeah, I just did a lot of cool things that I could tell you for sure I didn't know I'd be doing at that point. But that job really allowed me to have the flexibility to do some things that hadn't been done before. And then in 2015 is when I left to move to LPG to work for LPGA headquarters, which is why I moved to Florida because they're in Daytona Beach, Florida. So relocated to Florida, and there I went from working at a golf course every day, moving around, being mobile, to sitting in a desk. And I became the event coordinator for the LPGA Foundation. And through that, I was able to work with their girl LPGA USGA Girls Golf Program, which is their kind of their version of First Tee. And they had like events at the tour stops. So I got to actually do activations at the LPGA tour where anybody who brought their kid could come in for free, and we'd have these cool, fun clinics for the kids where I would bring in other pros, teaching pros like myself to get the kids excited about golf. I got to work with pros like Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam and teach programs with them. And I got to travel the world a little bit, which was kind of cool. I took I think, 2018 Junior Evian team. It was a U.S. team, the best 14-year-old boys and girls, two of the top 14-year-old boys and girls, to France to play against 15 other countries, and we won, which we had won before, but we broke a couple records that year, so that was kind of cool. And then I also developed a girls golf app so that parents could find their site directors at the different programs around the country. Because girls golf is kind of like Girl Scouts. So if you wanted to learn golf, you had different chapters around different states and different cities. So I created an app so they could find them easier and interact with the site directors easier. I also did developed some curriculum for LPGA Golf 101 to help women get into golf and help the pros give them an entry point, and also LPGA Invite Her programs. So just did a lot of things that I'll be honest with you, I did not have any skills to do before, but I learned a lot about web development. I learned a lot about um, just doing all types of stuff, email campaigns, and just all the things that I probably would have never learned had I stayed at the golf course. So through that, and I did leadership academies as well, which was a big thing. And so through that, 2020, I had planned on to be there 5 years, so I left in 2020. But I started my first business in 2018. It's a consulting business, JT Mobile Training, with the intention of helping professionals like myself learn how to attract more diverse audiences to the golf course. Because as you know, a lot of courses you don't see a lot of people of color. So I wanted to help the pros that didn't look like me understand how to attract more women, more people of color, and more youth to their courses and make it more welcoming. So I created that as well as did webinars. And now I do that. I have a golf app called 10K Golf. That's why I'm rocking this player development app that I launched in October to help get more professional women in the game and handhold them through the process of getting into golf because that's something that's very intimidating for everybody, but for women in particular. And also teach them how much golf can be a benefit to them in business, if they are entrepreneurs or if they're professionals who want to move up in their career. So giving women that entry point, as well as working with corporate clients who want to help build their leadership skills and business development with their up and coming leaders in their organization. So launching that program now. I also take women around the world to learn golf because I love traveling. I've been to 33 countries and counting. So I take women to places like Costa Rica, Panama, and teach them how to play golf. And do like a 5-day event. And they bring another pro with me, a woman of color, so they can learn golf from someone who looks like them because I mostly have Black women in my groups. And um, and that's my main thing. I mean, I can go on and on, so I'm just going to stop there.